Here, Florian, let me change my icon so it's not a literal picture of me.
I don't have your icon on, Jesus.
Okay, all right.
Didn't you watch my previous videos of this where I put footage of the episode in and everything?
Oh no, I didn't.
So you're going full steam ahead.
Oh yeah, well I guess it's kind of low effort still, but at least
Danielle watches a Game of Thrones podcast called Gay of Thrones. Have you heard of it?
No, that sounds amazing.
I have heard of it.
It's pretty funny. Honestly, it's pretty funny. It's a guy from Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, or I think it's just called Queer Eye now. He's very, very, very flamboyant and very funny, and he just gays it up.
That makes perfect sense. So he's basically just Varus and the other guy who had the roses all over him.
He's much gayer.
Oh, much gayer than that guy. Oh my God, how does he manage? All right. Anyway, so
he has beautiful hair too. You'll appreciate his hair. It's very, very long and luscious.
It's really hard to get an intro going to this podcast, but I guess we gotta leave this part in at least. So, hello everyone who's already been listening to me and Edmund and Erich talk about Game of Thrones. So, Edmund, you told me you hated this episode. How come?
It was the most boring episode and predictable episode I've ever watched. I knew everything that was going to happen.
Everything.
3 episodes ago.
Holy shit.
Well, not the Bran stuff, but
I was gonna say you knew Bran was gonna be king.
No, I did not know that. But I mean,
what a twist!
It was very painfully obvious from the get-go, like right at the beginning of the season when they started twisting the whole like, oh wait, Jon Snow, he should be king, and everybody knows about it. It's like, okay, well they're gonna fight and they're gonna kill each other, and I thought at least they would actually fight.
Oh,
right.
And they didn't, and they did the most cliche.
It can be more effective if they don't always have a fight. There were plenty of
We've never seen her fight. We've never seen her fight. She's never fought. She
sucks at it, okay? She had a chance to fight, but she just didn't even pay attention. She didn't even consider that this was a fight. She thought it was a hug.
Yeah, see, that sucks. It makes him more of a coward. Like, he should have at least, like, gave her a fighting chance.
It's, the sheep should never see the blade. It sours the meat. Ironically, this is probably my favorite episode, so I guess that's great.
Tell me what you like.
What?
Tell me what
out
you
of
like.
the season. Because it's just
you didn't like the fight scene one where there was a giant army of the dead and it was fighting like for the whole hour and a half. You didn't like that? That wasn't the best one for you.
Worst episode. It had so many mistakes in it. It was the worst.
I want to hear why you thought that the finale was so good. Please tell me.
Well, I guess I gotta damn it with faint praise here, but comparatively to the rest of the season, it fucked up basically nothing. So it was just a nice, happy ending without any further damage to the lore or anything else stupid happening.
You don't think a happy ending was the most inappropriate thing for Game of Thrones to have?
The thing is, I always feared that there would be a happy ending, but then when it actually happens, I felt good about it. I don't know. I mean, just after what happened in the other part of the season, it was just so stupid. I'm glad that Daenerys finally got destroyed. Oh my God, that felt so good that when he finally stabbed her. And you hated it because she didn't put up a fight. That's crazy.
I didn't like any of those characters. I didn't care. I don't think I've cared about Jon Snow for 2.5, 3 seasons. And I definitely didn't care about the Mother of Dragons since the 3rd or 4th season. And it's just like, what are you doing? And then I really hated the episode before last episode, mostly because there was so much stupid stuff that didn't make any sense to me. Like, how exactly does the dragon get super powered? That dragon couldn't do that shit before. There was 3 dragons and they couldn't do that.
What, destroy the wall?
Just destroy the fucking whole castle by itself. And avoid every single ballista,
that was definitely terrible. And it made no sense. Again, I was so surprised, but I thought you were talking about the previous season, but now we're talking about this season again? Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah, that was really shit. I can't believe that they spared the dragon. I thought they would kill the dragon in the end. If they were gonna spare the dragon, what's the point? Why didn't they? For what? Are they gonna make a spin-off about the dragon? Why didn't they kill the dragon in the siege? That would have been way cooler. I mean,
I thought
at the very least.
They're setting up a lot of empty space so that one day they could bring back Daenerys, I think.
What? How are they going to bring her back?
Broader. Oh yeah, the dragon could go bring her to a place where somebody could bring her back to life.
What?
Yeah, absolutely. Kinvara, that red priestess that they met in Essos, she could bring her back.
Holy shit, you're right. I didn't even consider that. Oh, they're not going to make another season with zombie Daenerys, are they?
Oh, no, what he's saying, there's a lot if you think about what he's saying, because they went out of their way on the last season to say, where is the dragon? We lost sight of it. And then Bran's like, I could find the dragon. It's like, why would they even talk about it?
Right.
Yeah, why hasn't he found the dragon already? Shouldn't he know everything?
He does. That's the thing. It's so stupid. He knew he was already going to be king from the fucking get-go, and he knows how it ends.
Actually, I don't think he knows the future.
Yeah, he does. He knows everything. He's everywhere at once.
He definitely has seen prophecies and stuff like that. He definitely saw the dragon flying over King's Landing before anybody else did.
Huh, but he always says he sees the present and the past, but not the future.
Does he say that? I thought he's just everywhere at once.
I'm not even sure about that. I think he has to specifically choose where to be.
With the Weirwood Tree Network, he can see everything that's gone around there, essentially.
The trees?
Yeah, the trees.
So he can go into any tree.
That's amazing. I never considered that.
But he could also go into any animal. And he could also turn into or go into the three-eyed raven.
Right.
Then another plot hole that they didn't answer that they could pick up and do something with was, where did Bran go during the whole battle? He was gone.
Well, he was recording it.
He's the history. Oh my god. Well, the thing is, I guess he really didn't need to do anything about the battle, because the battle was the only way that Daenerys would be revealed to be evil, so he couldn't interfere with that. Otherwise, no one would have believed him that, in fact, Daenerys is evil now. Even though... Man, that was so weird, too. She had no reason, and she didn't even make a choice to be evil. She's just too stupid to tell what's good and bad from now on. It's so bizarre.
She just snapped. She just didn't have anything.
That was bad writing. That was terrible writing. They had so many things that could motivate her to be evil, and they did not. The fact that she... Essentially, the whole beginning of the show is her, like, leading up to her basically giving birth, losing her beloved husband and losing her child, but then giving birth to 3 dragons who are her babies, and 2 of them are killed. How wasn't that motivation?
Right.
Like, she didn't shed a tear. She didn't fucking care. Like, I know for a fact that she would care more for her dragon children than the girl who did her hair for a few seasons. Like,
you think?
Right. She should have lost that dragon at the beginning of that battle, or not at the beginning, near the end of that battle, and that would have really pushed her off the deep end.
Yeah, she should have showed more emotion. She should have looked like a lunatic. Like, she should have looked crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
like her father. Like that, they're trying. That's the whole thing. Is like they're trying to make her be like the Mad King. Like, she's like just like the Mad King. It's in her bloodline, et cetera, et cetera. But she didn't look like a crazy person.
Right.
She's
just
like
due to snap at any moment.
Yeah.
Did you hear that fan theory how apparently the three-eyed raven accidentally created the Mad King by trying to tell him to burn the zombies, and then then the Mad King just all he hung up to then it was burn them all, and that's why he did what he did, just like Hodor, who just held the door, and that was his entire character from then on.
They could go back and fill in early stuff, which would also suck.
Well, you think they're going to make a prequel series or something?
They have to do something because HBO... I really thought, like, the one fan theory that I thought is that I was like, whoa, okay, I would totally be down with this, and I would understand is, like, they're going to get to the end of the season, and it's kind of, like, going to rewind back in, like, Bran's head, and they're going to have, like, a redo, and then it's going to end and be like... next season on Game of Thrones. This whole thing that we do this whole thing over again from another perspective, two dimensions, like two timelines of the same thing. Like that would be perfect for a show like that to do, because then you could get the best of both worlds.
You think it would actually be good if they just undid all this terrible season and then just made 2 good seasons from now on?
Well, did you ever watch Breaking Bad?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so the end of Breaking Bad, there is 2 endings in that. There's the good ending and the bad ending. And the bad ending is that everything from the point of when his keys fall down into his hand and there's lights behind him in the car, that's all a fantasy in his head.
Well,
and he gets arrested.
When was that? Was that right at the start?
The midpoint of that episode, when he's trying to figure out what he should do, and then there's lights behind him, it looks like cop lights, and then he closes his eyes, and then suddenly out of nowhere the keys fall down. He starts the car and he leaves, and there's a pause there. And the theory, which I believe has a lot of validity, is that they wanted to do 2 endings. They wanted to have a bad ending for people paying attention, and they wanted to have a good ending for people who wanted a good ending. But there wasn't really a good ending. But we won't know until the end. Are you watching Better Call Saul?
Yeah, of course.
That's a great show too. I love that show. But we might be able to connect the dots with that too.
Yeah, we might have to talk about that one too. So, was the midpoint of the show or the midpoint of the first season? When was this key dropping thing?
At the very, very last episode. Watch the very last episode again. The theory stands, it seems pretty plausible.
I thought it was the episode before the last episode.
Was it that one? It might have been. It's whenever he splits and he's out in the cold, and it's snowing, and he's going to come back into town, and he's debating on whether to do it, and the car won't start. And there's just weird, ominous red light behind him, like a cop has found him. But then they just pause from that, and that disregarded, and then they just go off, and then he goes and saves him. Saves what's his face?
Jesse.
Jesse. Yeah.
Yeah, who wouldn't love just a whole... It was all a dream. Actually, I guess only the ending would have been a dream. I don't know. That seems bizarre. But I guess
it doesn't necessarily have to be a dream. It's just a blurred... It's a split. It's like are you the good guy or the bad guy sort of thing. And they could have done. I mean, the one thing that was lost in the past couple seasons of Game of Thrones is every season was a bunch of political stuff, which was interesting, a bunch of betrayal and back and forth and wars. And then it was all normal. And then at the very end of the season, something fantasy would happen. Like a White Walker would appear, or a dragon would appear, magic. Mm-hmm. Every single season ended with that, and this had nothing. There was no magic. There was no magical thing that happened at all. It was just, let's connect all the dots here. Let's make sure all the stories end.
You don't think that's interesting in some way? Oh, sorry, go on.
No, basically what I wanted was a definitive end of magic in this world, that the Game of Thrones story is the last gasp of the children of the forest are all pretty much dead. The White Walkers get wiped out. You've got the last dragon flying around. Once that dies, magic itself dies.
Sure, I guess. So they could have brought that home. They could have done something with that.
Right. The showrunners don't care. They are so just checked out here and lazy that they just don't give a shit.
Well, the thing is that the magic isn't actually a good thing, so I don't think anyone would mourn the magic.
But there's something to it, though, that there's something to the writing that makes that's what made Game of Thrones, I think, really unique, was that it really let you dive into boring politics, and because at the end there's something fantastic that always makes you go, whoa, what? And then it'll start again, and it'll just keep building to something that is, we know politics, we understand how this works, we know the back and forth, and it's all painted really nicely for us. The characters are developed really nicely, and we accept this world. And then there's this fourth wall break of, wait, this isn't real at all, and this is some fantastic thing, and anything could happen. All the rules could be broken. But yeah. There's a lot of things that went wrong in the past couple seasons.
Well, they already start the very first season by showing off the White Walkers at the very first episode. So I don't know if magic really is that hidden. I kind of had the feeling that.
But they taught, if you watch that season, if you watch that season again, they don't explain any of that.
Yeah,
they just give you some idea that there's something. You have no idea what it is. They don't talk about it at all until the like next season.
Yeah, good thing too. If they had just explained how you can kill the Night King, that would have been pretty lame. And then it just happens.
I felt like that. Did you guys feel satisfied with that?
Oh no, that was awful.
It felt hugely anticlimactic. Like this huge like world-ending consequence is pretty much just thrown off halfway through the season.
Yeah,
and then everything else. And like I completely forgot about that after Daenerys burned everything in episode 5. Like by that point, I was just so invested in Daenerys going dark that I was like, oh yeah, they literally fought and killed the zombies and White Walkers 2 episodes ago. Like that's how like siloed in everything was. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, it slipped everyone's mind.
That season
right
literally
after
should have been two 10-episode seasons. The last,
right.
It should have been split.
Yeah, I mean, that's not undoubtedly would have been better because you could have focused on the Night King so long. Man, at that point, I was even glad they killed the Night King because that Siege episode was so bad, where they did literally everything wrong and nothing made sense.
I just wish they would have won. I wish they would have focused on that whole thing and then forgotten about that whole, oh yeah, we're going to get overwhelmed by this. Like, I thought there was going to be something more to that because it really didn't feel like what they were leading up to. Because I thought in the books, the whole idea is like the end of the world is coming and they're all so consumed with fighting each other and killing each other that they're not even going to realize they're all going to die. And then they just that was the bad ending that I was looking forward to. They just get swallowed up.
I mean, that would have been
And it doesn't matter
cool.
at all.
Except for the fact that I fucking hate how the Night Walker looks, and I don't know if that would have been satisfying if he had just killed everyone. Especially because he's just a single zombie, basically.
Well, he doesn't have to do it. I'm just saying the army of the dead.
I know, but they could easily just kill him. I mean, it seems pretty unlikely that he would kill everyone when he can just be killed with a single dagger of Valyrian steel or of dragon glass. But I guess he could have been the strategic mastermind who kills them all. Yeah, I mean, it's too bad we couldn't get a sad ending, but I made my peace with not getting a sad ending like 2 years ago because I assumed that they wouldn't go for it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were invested in Daenerys and Jon getting together, I think this is a pretty sad ending.
Yeah.
But I wasn't, so it doesn't matter.
I don't know if anybody is. I really don't believe anybody is. They did not, like, these, okay, do you remember when he fell in love with his first love? His true love, what's her face?
Secret in like season 2 or 3.
Yeah, and they developed that.
The best. She's
they
still
developed
the best
that
waifu.
because but she's also the best because you could tell that they cared about each other.
Right.
And this was like just I don't even know how much time was supposed to have passed between them meeting and them like killing him killing her.
Right.
Well,
no
it's
more
like,
than a year.
There was nothing there. They didn't even have room to like gaze at each other. Like there was no foreplay. You know what I mean? They just got smashed together, and then suddenly he's just smashed. Head over heels. Yeah. There's also the major flaw here of like, okay, who played who here? Because she sacrificed 2 of her dragons to go and fight a war that she didn't have to fight yet for this guy. But then he seemed like he was the one that was pussy whipped for her. And I just don't know what angle they were actually trying to go with because Daenerys was the one who lost way more in all of this.
Yeah, I think she got fucked over. Like, if she had decided she was going to go after Cersei and King's Landing and that entire thing, and then after that, she could have even tried to defeat the Army of the Dead. But, like, she lost so much more than she ever could have gained going up against the White Walkers.
I just don't feel like they painted it as in a way, like, she didn't seem like she was so heavily, like, she was so in love with Jon Snow that she needed to be with him. Like, they didn't paint that picture. But that's what it actually looks like when you look at it from afar. It's like she was so obsessed with him that she would do anything for him. But then in the end, it was like he was also I don't know what's going on here because she seems like she doesn't care, and she's like, Miss, I don't care about guys, and I never get attached to him, whatever thing. And it's like, wait, which direction are we going? I don't know why I should care.
Well, Jon Snow, he's just the ultimate pickup artist. He's perfectly. He's manipulated.
He sits there and he looks pained and sad, and they go, "Oh, I love you."
I think in this episode he nearly like went all the way with her. Like he nearly was like, oh yeah, I mean like we're gonna work towards this better future.
I mean,
I was buying it. I was buying it. In the end, I'd be like, okay, sure. Like, why not? He could stay with her and be king, and they can conquer together.
Yeah, that was pretty sad.
She pitched it pretty good.
Yeah, she had a good Nazi speech. Unveiled their giant banner that I guess they were just ready to do.
Yeah. They had
Finally
that prepped.
Revealed her power level, her Nazi power level.
She was just about a second away from hiling and goose stepping.
It is funny that people got upset about the whole turn thing because it's like, you do remember the whole, all those dudes that she originally got are all rapists. That's all they do is rape and pillage. That's it. That's what they do.
Dothraki, yeah, that's bizarre. But you could say the same about the Greyjoys, which are also her allies, so that's good, I guess.
Yeah, it's a bunch of chaos. It's like, yeah, she went around freeing people who were also bad.
Man, do you remember when she got the Unsullied and she was really freaking out about 8,000 dead babies, and now she's probably made 800,000 dead babies.
Hey man, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Like she will sacrifice anything to invest in her better future that she's gonna create.
I can get behind that. I can get behind the you should have known that all of these people can be potentially terrible. There's no good guy, there's no bad guy. I think I could dig that.
Well, and that's why I loved the beginning of this episode, because they essentially backed the wrong horse. Like as soon as this woman starts burning everything and doesn't give a rip about anybody's lives, like they have to live with the consequences of that. And Tyrion like throws his pin on the ground and he's not going to be the hand, and everybody else just freaked the fuck out. And I think Jon is shell shocked, but he's still like, she is my queen. I'm going along with this.
Damn it, Jon.
I also think he doesn't want to be killed. Like I do think really? in the conversation that he had with Tyrion, he's purposefully speaking loudly and saying what he's saying because you can hear people walking up behind him.
Right.
So he's just painting. I think he knew what he had to do from the get go.
Mm-hmm. Guys, this episode is missing about an hour of runtime.
Oh,
because
it is?
It seems like it, because between Jon Snow killing Daenerys and them eventually choosing who's going to be king, there is a lot of shit that I would have liked to see there.
Yeah.
Because how does Jon tell everybody, I kind of killed Daenerys?
Yeah.
How do they react to that?
They couldn't write that. Because he should have been killed. He would have been killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
like right
true.
away he would have been killed.
And what just blows my mind is that like Grey Worm has this entire army behind him, all these Dothraki,
and he's fucking cutting throats, and he's not paying any attention to Jon Snow. He's like, "Fuck you, Jon Snow. I'll do whatever I want. I will cut a throat in front of you." He'd be the one that would kill him. He would be dead.
And then but he just sits back and lets Tyrion, who's his prisoner, dictate what the next government is going to be.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, but at least we have Sam propose democracy, and then he gets laughed out of the room. That was my favorite part. It was like, I'll ask my horse who the king should be. It's so good. Yeah. Oh my god, I'm so glad they at least could stop themselves from making actual democracy. Imagine how stupid that would have been. Oh, we're a medieval society who is purely democratized. That would have been so stupid, but I guess
I was really hoping that when they all voted yay or nay, that in the background a horse would neigh. That would have been the perfect end for me.
Perfect ending.
I mean, if Brienne gets to vote, then the horse should get to vote.
You want to hear the part that I hated the most out of probably the whole series?
Oh man, this could be literally anything. Is it in this episode?
It's in this episode. It was. I seriously threw my hands up and I was like, "Fucking come on!"
Is it Arya?
It's when the dragon burns the throne.
What that?
Like the fucking dragon knows. Oh, it's the Game of Thrones. It's the Game of Thrones that has corrupted my mother and caused her death. I totally get it. I don't want to kill Jon Snow. He did kill her. He did kill her, and I know that. But it's this throne that she was after. I will kill it. Danielle's like maybe she thought maybe the dragon thought that she was pierced by sitting on the throne.
Uh-huh.
And that's why.
That would be hilarious.
Knife hurt mommy, burn knife chair.
That makes more sense to me.
Well, I thought the dragon was just spewing fire everywhere. He didn't even go for the throne right away, so I think that was just
it
a
took a while to
poetic
melt.
coincidence.
It took a while. It took a while to melt. It's symbolism, guys. They're deep.
Damn.
They're great writers, and they know symbolism.
Yeah, that throne did take a while. Normally he melts everything real fast, doesn't he? But I guess he
Yeah, he
melted
did
it
blow
all
up the
way.
fucking castle within a second.
Well,
But
actually,
it's that
they talked
throne.
about how dragons melt castles, but they don't really melt them in this episode. They just explode them. But I guess
They explode
he
them.
actually did take the time to literally melt the throne, so that's why it took longer. But still, just taking the time to slowly melt it, he could have just blown it up like he does everything else.
So, Edmund, you know these guys who are making Game of Thrones are going to make Star Wars movies?
That sounds about right. I could say that the past 2 seasons felt like a Star Wars movie.
I definitely got Star Wars feels when Daenerys was talking about, like, you can rule with me. We'll have our new empire and join me and we'll rule the galaxy together.
They're also into the whole incest theme.
Yeah, true.
They can keep that
Oh
going.
no, they're gonna do that in Star Wars? Oh no.
That's all Star Wars was.
Well, you think Ren is some kind of Skywalker and they're gonna have incest babies?
Sure. Why not?
Oh no. Well, actually, that's probably less stupid than her parents just being deadbeats. Skywalker
So Edmund, when
deadbeats.
Tyrion suggested that Bran be king of Winterfell, I'm not Winterfell, everything, king of Westeros.
The Six
What was your response
Kingdoms.
to that?
I was like, whatever. I mean, he already knows that he already knows this whole thing. That's why he's there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's obviously the best choice. He would be an actual god king. It's just that it's hard to believe that everyone would vote for it because
This kid they've never met before, never seen before, probably.
This little handicapped kid that claims that he has psychic powers, who's done nothing. No one has seen him do anything.
And also, all the Stark kids are there. Like, they have, like, the ultimate representation here when only really Sansa belongs there.
Well,
yeah,
the
like
thing is
Sansa
that-
was like, "Fuck you, though. You're not gonna be my king, bitch. I'm gonna
I
go
can't
do my
believe
own
she
thing."
got away with that. Why? All the other people had to fall in line, but no. I guess the North is his own kingdom.
Yeah,
huh?
everybody could have done that. Everybody could have been like, "Well,
Yeah.
yeah, me too."
I
Me
can't
too, I'll
believe
just-
they did that at the last one, and then everyone was like, "Yeah, okay, you guys are your own, but we'll be
That
ruled by the
scene-
cripple."
That scene between every, like, ruler of every nation is maybe one of the stupidest things that I've ever seen committed to film.
Oh no!
Because you have to believe that nobody there had any stake in anything in making this entirely new government.
Yeah,
Because they didn't say anything, certainly. They just kind of voted for this kid.
Yeah, they're just used to be ruled by proxy on from this King's Landing king.
everything is ruled by money and land as well. Like, who wouldn't somebody claim the castle that was destroyed? Like, I feel like there's an economy thing going on here. It's like that would actually
the Lannisters
move things.
themselves were pretty much broke. So,
Yeah. So wouldn't the what was it called? The gold. What was it? What are they called? Where their money came from?
The Golden Company. The bank.
Yeah.
The Iron Bank, I think?
Yeah, the Iron Bank. Wouldn't they own that castle? And wouldn't they have, like,
Oh, damn.
be like, hey, this is my castle now. I've repoed this castle. Like, this is
I
bank owned.
completely forgot about that.
A debt is owed. Oh my god. You really think they would have the right to take the whole castle that way?
Well, it's their castle.
I know, but they basically have no reach in that area. I mean, you know how...
Technically, anybody could take the castle because there's no armies there.
I mean...
the only army that they had was the Unsullied. That's the only army that stayed.
Well,
And I don't even know who they follow.
But they have Highgarden. Well, I'm sure the Unsullied went away, but they have Highgarden, don't they have armies?
Yeah, the
and
Unsullied
money?
are given Highgarden, or they're given the Reach, which is the land that Highgarden is kind of part of. And they are essentially a 30-year concern. They are only going to be alive for the next 30 to 40 years.
And they can't
They all
procreate.
die because they're eunuchs and they don't, like, have children.
Yeah.
So as soon as they died, that's it. That's the only thing they got to do is wait.
You don't think they can just find some babies to raise?
Don't you think the Dothraki just went around more, like, now they have the advantage, like, most of the armies are destroyed, they're just going to continue to rape and pillage as they go? Where do they go?
That's the only thing that
did
makes
they
sense
go?
here, but they apparently get on those boats and fuck off. Like, I don't see the Dothraki ever.
We'll go back home. It's cool. We love, like, a year journey on a boat that we hate.
The best.
There's free rapes and pillaging right here in front of us, but we want to go on that boat. Take us on that boat so we can go and die at sea.
Well,
She promised us so much, half of us died doing it. We don't even get any, like, reward from this, and then we're just going back home.
Well, you see, they got so traumatized when she burned King's Landing, so now they just feel bad, okay? Makes
I
perfect
invaded and
sense.
conquered Westeros, and all I got was this stupid t-shirt.
Oh, no.
I have a feeling like once Daenerys got killed, there would be some leader of Dothraki that would step up and be like, I am,
Right.
I am the new ruler. I'm the new Khan or whatever. Follow me and let's rape and pillage more.
But Daenerys ruled only because of her dragon, and also she killed all the toxic masculinity, I assume, so who knows? What did they do?
I saw a lot of toxic masculinity going around that castle.
Oh, no. Well, damn, I guess it couldn't be saved.
You guys want to know one of the stupidest things in this episode we haven't even mentioned yet?
Go on.
They get the book that's called The Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah, that was stupid. That was a big eye roll.
And Tyrion says he's not even in the book.
Yep.
The entire war was because he was fucking kidnapped by Catelyn. You can't write him out.
Well, I guess the war
Was that all for a
just
joke? Was that all a gag? Like that
Yes,
whole like
it was all for a gag.
I don't know about that. I think it has great implications. They just don't know the true history. But besides,
so
it
the
was
whole
all
thing's then
about,
full of lies.
It's
It's
about
just
how
all
they
fictional.
sure, but it's more about how they push Bronn out of the tower. Really.
Mm-hmm. Bran.
Yeah, Bran. That's it. Jesus, Bronn.
No, but after that, they don't start fighting, or they don't really start like.
Well,
You can't even blame the Lannisters for that because nobody knows.
I guess they might have been doing the whole history goes. Well, that doesn't make any sense either. Like history goes to the person who's controlling, so they can make history. But why would they cut the guy out who's sitting right there? And
Yeah, who's
the
currently the Hand of
Maesters.
King.
The Maesters are just the tyrants of history. You know, they just cut out key figures, and no one's the wiser. Sounds
maybe they were
perfect.
just referencing bad writers.
Yeah, they didn't know it, but they were referencing themselves all along. Oh man, yeah. That imagine, if just Game of Thrones never had Tyrion in it, that would make a lot of sense.
I didn't like. I think I told you on Skype that the only two characters that I cared about were the Queen and the Hound.
Oh yeah,
and they both just bit it in ways that I could care less about. Like I really felt like. I really thought that the coolest way that they could have made the Hound end was if he never even fought his brother. Like imagine if he did that whole speech about how bad it is to be motivated by revenge or whatever to Arya, and then all the buildings came crashing down and he saved her, but then he got pinned. And it's that situation again where he's dying and she has to leave him.
Oh my
would be-
god,
That would be amazing. Like that would have been
what does she
so
do?
cool.
Does she kill the queen, or does he just run away now?
There you go. Well, that would be the dilemma. That would be proof of like he's going there to go kill his brother and he gets killed. And he says that to her right there, like choose what you're going to do because this kills you. There's proof of it right there. I assume she'd run. And but I guess there'd be no end. We wouldn't get to see the Mountain's fucked up face and see him kill people and whatever else, but I don't know.
I don't even understand Arya's whole, like, I'm going to come away from revenge. That's not going to define me. She literally baked people into pies. And fed them to their
She is
family.
the queen
Like,
of revenge.
Yeah, she's done much worse things than Clegane has ever done.
All it took
she?
was one guy to say, "Don't do that. Don't do the revenge."
You know what? You're right. I'll never do a revenge again.
But she did good revenge. Walder Frey was a real problem, you know. And then she just killed him, and she saved so many lives because they all were gonna fight in a war, but they didn't.
The Mountain was a real problem.
Yeah, sure. I mean, they had a great fight. I don't know why you didn't like that fight. I thought you wanted fights so much, and you don't like
the fight. The fight was okay. The cliche finishing move was pretty, over the top. Like that's all the Mountain fucking does is puts his thumb in people's eyes. Like, I get it. Like, you're cheapening how epic that was when it happened. He doesn't need to do it again. He could just. We know he's really strong. How about just grab any other fucking part of his body and crush it or whatever? It's fine. Like, but why again? Like, it feels so fanfare-ish. It feels so Star Wars. Like, to take something that, hey, remember when Chewbacca made that noise? Let's do it again. That sort of thing. It's like, make that. It basically is a catchphrase. The Mountain's catchphrase is thumbs and eyes. Didn't need to happen.
Over here.
Yeah.
Finish him.
It just
that makes perfect sense, though, because when he does it, he says, and I crushed her head like this. And then he just crushes all the heads like this. Don't you understand? It makes perfect sense.
Right.
He doesn't have to crush through the eyeballs, though. He can crush the head anyway.
But the eyeballs, that's the ultimate pain, I assume.
Nah, I've seen a lot of horror films, and if you've seen any Friday the 13th, he's crushed a lot of heads. And one of the best ways is to just imagine if he just slammed his head up against the wall and then pushed really hard and then flattened it like in a vice. Like I don't remember if it was Goodfellas or if it was Casino, but there was one where they put a guy's head in a vice and then close it. That one's
damn.
Yeah, there are other epic ways. Your eyeball will pop out in that point.
Oh no!
So it'd be the reverse. It'd be the reverse of the eyeballs in Head Crush. It's the crush from the sides. Eyeball pops out.
The worst thing about crushed heads.
They should hire me. I
though.
hope they're listening. I hope HBO's listening and they hire me.
I prefer the destruction of the eyeballs.
We need another eyeball gag. I got it.
Oh yeah, they'll just.
My next pitch would be
everything will be good.
You punch the head. He punches his head from the top of his head into his body, and his eyeball comes out of his ass.
Oh no, those eyeballs! No, they haunt me.
I gotta copyright that. Nobody steal that. It's my idea.
No one will ever do that move. The anus eyeball.
So it's so he could see him kicking his ass. All right, that's what he'd say, and then he'd squish the eyeball with his foot.
And he was still alive throughout all of it,
screaming, gurgling at the hole in his neck.
Beautiful.
And then he grabs him and then falls into the fire.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
his brain is completely destroyed, but he still does it.
It's like, do you ever see that GIF of the skinned iguana that like comes back to life and starts thrashing around? No. Your body can do that even with your head gone. Yeah, your nervous system will just go full effect, and yeah, that's what happens. It's like, I'm the Hound. I don't have a head, but my body's just happens to be moving in a way that would grab my brother and throw him and myself into the fire. Perfect ending.
Like a headless chicken. If only he had been the chicken and not the Hound. The ultimate ending. He just runs around.
The Hound was still my favorite character, though. I think I like the Hound the most. He seemed like the most believable character.
The most believable? Mm-hmm. He's so overpowered.
No, and not like in terms of that. In terms of his like character arc, he seemed like somebody who's just fucking had it with everything. Like he's like, fuck it. Like he's just such an old, like disgruntled man who's just been through hell.
I don't actually buy how he ran away from Joffrey. He just had no reason to run away. He was in a perfectly good battle. I thought that's what he wanted. And he just fucked off.
He's not. He's more of a real human with human emotion. He's like, fuck this. I'm not going to risk any of this shit. I'm out of here.
But he loves battle. Oh, well, I don't know.
He doesn't love battle with somebody he doesn't even like. He didn't like them.
He just wants to kill. By the way, that was so stupid too, how he just tells everyone, you just like murdering people. Like me, I like murdering people. I'm the murder guy. I always think that's like the dumbest thing. It's like the guy from Black Panther. I'm Killmonger. I kill people.
I never saw Black Panther.
Oh, well, good for you. don't watch it.
I hear good things, but I don't know.
Well, they're all lies. They're afraid to tell the truth.
So what do you guys think of how everybody ends up? So Sansa's Queen of the North. Arya goes off and I guess goes west to Westeros, which is probably just Essos. She probably just like goes around to the other side. And Jon goes north of the Wall and I guess fuck Grey Worm.
Yeah, Jon north of the Wall seems appropriate. Sure, give it to him, whatever. He can be the king of the wildlings like he was supposed to be.
Right.
Like
right.
they wanted him to.
Yeah,
I mean it's all nice and tidy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I really felt good when they made all those things happen, I guess. I don't know, I guess in retrospect it's not that great. And why do they hold the sword so weirdly when they're saluting Sansa? I don't get it. You couldn't all have pointed the swords the same way. Looking at it there. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess I really don't care about Sansa and Arya. But I guess it's cool that she has her wolf banner on her ship. Even though I think that this whole, I'm going to explore the edge of the world, that seems really weird because that just seems like a future thing. That seems like, oh, we know that there's more world and we're gonna fetishize this. We're gonna care out the people who do that. But I don't think they would have cared. You got a 50% chance of getting stuck in the middle of the ocean and dying. Why would she go for that?
They need to send people out on other missions so they can do other stories with those characters in the future.
She sails off into a spinoff.
Yeah. I mean, really, they all should have died. You know that. I mean, everybody should have died. But if everybody dies, you can't juice the brand. Not the good ones. Not the ones that people care about.
Yeah.
Except for me, I guess.
Cersei should have won. She should have burned them all herself. And
So would you have preferred Cersei to win permanently, or do you think it would have been better if Cersei had won and then been killed by the Night King?
Yeah, I think it would be better if she won and they got killed by the Night King.
Yeah, that would be fucking epic. Too bad. And the dragon, how will they die?
I actually thought that at one point, I thought that the dragon was going to betray Daenerys and go with Jon.
Yeah, I would have hoped so, but I mean, I guess all he was not killing Jon.
The whole side plot of that Jon Snow should have been the king and he's from the bloodline, yada yada yada. There was no resolve. Nothing.
That actually didn't mean anything except to Daenerys. Like it was just Daenerys being paranoid about everybody loving Jon.
Well, she didn't care about it in the end either. So the only thing that mattered was that Jon had to. He was too stupid to keep a secret. That was all. And it makes sense because they don't actually. The Targaryen bloodline, it doesn't have any special power over those dragons. They still kill each other with the dragons all the time. So.
Well, wait. He does have special powers on the dragon because
he rode the
Drogon
dragon.
Looks right at him and does not burn him to death, even though he saw Jon murder his mommy.
It's true.
It wouldn't have worked anyways. He'd be fireproof, wouldn't he? Which, by the way, is bizarre, because we never see him be fireproof. So what the fuck's up with that?
That is something cool that they could have done. Like, that we would have forgotten about. We would have forgot, oh yeah, Jon Snow can't be burned, just like Daenerys. And they could have sent, he could have died. Like, to us, he could have died in a fire. And then he could have walked out all naked and sexy. Walked towards the camera. And that's in the roll credits.
That would have been good.
That's interesting. They wouldn't do that.
Yeah, how did they forget about that? It's bizarre. I mean, they must have thought about it. Yeah, the dragon could just burn him, but will it work? Ah, damn, I guess we'll never know. And they just made him burn the throne instead, which was boring.
But
what a tragedy.
He burned the Game of Thrones.
Oh my god.
He knew that don't play the game, mommy. That's what he was saying. Read between the lines. Man, God.
But she won. If she wins, then she doesn't die. Why didn't that work? Oh, no.
Oh, it's that Game of Thrones.
So, how do you feel about it? Do you think this was the cultural milestone that we were all hoping? Do you think the ending redeemed it in any way? Or
No.
Are you just
Sucky.
wallowing in sadness now forever?
It does. It taints the whole thing. Like, I remember being glued to my seat
Oh, man.
every single weekend. and talking to my friends, and everyone I knew was looking forward to this shit. And for the past 2 seasons, I am guilty of twice fast forwarding through dead dialogue, especially when everybody was just talking to each other. Yeah. And getting up multiple times going like, okay, tell me if anything happens. I'm going to the bathroom.
What the fuck?
I don't pause this. I know what's going to happen. I felt like I knew exactly what was going to happen. It felt very predictable and very watered down and very, very Star Wars.
I don't like that use of Star Wars. Holy shit. Star Wars is amazing. How dare you?
One of the problems was the show used to use suspense where you knew it was going to happen, but it was how characters reacted to those things. Like you could probably guess that the Red Wedding was not going to go well for Robb Stark and Catelyn. And
I didn't know. I mean, there was an ominous feel to it, but I didn't know. I really didn't think. Like, it always caught me off guard.
As soon as Reigns of Castamere,
unexpected.
As soon as Reigns of Castamere starts playing, you should be like, "Oh fuck!"
Oh, like, just because you read the books, jeez.
I mean, that's
Edmund didn't read them, right?
No, I didn't read them.
Yeah, see.
Oh, the books are really good, Edmund. You should read the books.
I would if I could. I can't. I really have a really tough time reading fantasy. Like, the only books I can read are like autobiographical books. If I read fantasy, like I drift off. And I will like go through pages where I'm reading, but my brain's not remembering anything, and it's just terrible. I just have a really, really, really difficult time focusing.
No, I hate
like audiobooks at all.
I could listen to audio. Yeah, I do listen to audiobooks.
The audiobooks are quite good.
I could dive into that.
Yeah, I could do that too. That's a good idea. So, well, it was still so good though. How everyone was really into the show, and I guess it's all over now.
No, it's not over. You know damn well it's not over. They're going to do something with it. They're going to make a movie or some shit.
There's a spin-off prequel series they're already making.
Well, there you go.
Prequels? Who cares about prequels? I want to see what happens now. I guess they should have just left more actual interesting stuff open still. Oh well.
Well, isn't the next thing on HBO that they're trying to be the next big thing is The Watchmen, right?
Oh, The Watchmen.
Oh yeah, that'll be great. I hope.
Could be. It could be potentially pretty good.
The dude who made Leftovers is making it, so I'm on his side.
Oh yeah, I'm down. I'm down with that.
Never heard of that.
Leftovers is fucking cool. Weird.
Hell yeah.
Sounds delicious. But yeah, Watchmen is amazing, so I definitely can't wait for that. I love that movie, and I'm sure I'm going to love that series.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be more gritty and dark than the movie, I'm assuming. Which was pretty gritty and dark.
Possible.
Oh, it's possible.
How could it be more dark?
Because they've upped the ante. The ante has been upped so many times. Like, back when Watchmen came out, like, what, 15 years ago?
I think so, yeah.
And that was considered pretty gritty. Not super gritty, but pretty gritty and dark for then, right? Now, a TV show that's got to, like, sit alongside Walking Dead and all this other stuff, but be taken really seriously, some like Westworld and stuff like that, it's going to be gritty. I can guarantee that. It'll be really, really dark and violent. It'll be cool.
I don't know if that's necessary for it to be that dark.
It is. It's a pretty fucking dark show.
I mean,
series. I read the comic on that one, which was good. I recommend. The ending is totally different.
Yeah, I heard it's too bad they cut out the big squid ending. What a shame.
I preferred the ending in the movie. It makes more sense.
Oh wow. Okay.
It does make more sense, but it doesn't have a giant squid, you see.
Yeah.
That's what we really need. I don't know how you managed to read that. I hate the art style.
I appreciate the art style. I mean, it's whatever. Like, I can look at some really shitty stuff. If you like The Watchmen. Well, once we're off this, I can recommend. There's a book called The Incal, which is really fucking good. And if you like Watchmen, if you like Game of Thrones, and you like really out there psychedelic stuff,
wow,
it's really good. Incal. Well, it's a graphic novel. It's from the 70s too, so it's very like heavy metal style. Like Mobius is the one that did the art for it, and Alejandro Jodorowsky wrote it. And he's one of my favorite directors. I highly recommend it. I loved it. It's so cool.
Yeah, I could get into a new comic. That sounds good.
Definitely check it out and tell me what you think. It's very adult Star Wars.
Adult Star Wars. I still don't know about it being any grittier, because we got Walking Dead, which is technically really gritty, but really it doesn't come off that way. I mean, it's just zombies. I don't know how Watchmen could be gritty compared to what we see usually.
I think it will be, but mostly because like The Leftovers was very gritty.
Well, I guess that could be good, but I hope they don't overdo it.
I don't, and it's not going to be like super cliche, gritty, but whatever. All right, we gotta wrap this up too. So,
is that what's pinging there?
Yeah.
Is your wife desperately needing your attention? Oh my god!
No, well, she cooked dinner. I haven't eaten, so she's
that makes sense.
Oh.
That's pretty late.
Have dinner.
Yeah,
Probably
I
like
know.
10 now,
We ate really late for lunch, and then and we got to put Peach down.
All right.
Okay.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you had time to discuss this with me. I really cared a lot about Game of Thrones, and I guess I was somewhat satisfied, and you were not satisfied at all. So
I'm glad that you're satisfied. That matters more to me than how I feel.
I feel like I could rewatch Game of Thrones at some point, and I wouldn't hate it as much. I mean, I know I hate how the Night King died. I hate how Cersei died, but at least I liked how Daenerys died.
I could never be satisfied by the way the show was working, so I basically got what I expected.
Yeah, I knew it was going to end in a way that I wasn't going to dig, because the past 2 seasons have really sucked for me. So,
Right.
Oh, I liked them, but have you seen Rome, everyone?
no.
I've seen Rome.
Oh man, you should see Rome, Edmund. That was such a good show. Are you gonna make sure to watch that version that has all the episodes? For some reason, there's one where they combine the first 3 episodes. Anyways, basically Rome is like the primordial Game of Thrones without any magic, but they had to cut it short in the end. But it was still really good. So basically, like Game of Thrones with intrigue but no dragon.
Boo.
No dragon, boo. And there's tiny dragons. They were so annoying at first. Just like,
What's even the point of watching a show without dragons, Florian?
most shows don't have dragons, damn it. Yeah, they should have dragons, you're right. Oh, what a shame. Alright, everyone, subscribe for more talk about things. Hopefully more Edmund, right?
Sure, I'm around.
Hooray! We'll finally do more episodes. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Oh, at the same time.
Bye.